This episode of ErkPod is brought to you by me, ErkPod, and also me, NTL Sticker Collective. Here's the NTL Sticker Collective shirt of the episode. Succulent Chinese meal menu. Jack K from Brisbane said a succulent Chinese meal. And Detective Sergeant Barry White from Queensland Police said he's a little bit partial to a Chinese meal. For 10% off any purchase, use the discount code ErkPod10 for 10% off any purchase. Use the QR code on your screen or ntlstickercollective.com.au/democracy manifest. Welcome to this episode, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Erk's Big August Day Out Part 1, recorded on Thursday the 28th of August 2025. This one was a challenging episode to record. It was a challenging episode, even more so to edit in the ErkPod editing suite, as I am still getting used to the Insta360. Instead of being on the scooter, I was in the car, and I thought that was going to be easier, and did I think wrong? Strap yourselves in, because this episode of ErkPod is go. Go ErkPod, go. Go ErkPod, go. Let's go. On screen, I have an image of the vehicle that I'm driving now, 2019 Volkswagen Caddy. It's a two-seater with lots of room for luggage and shopping and moving, and lots of room for me to store stuff in the back. Some people actually convert these type of vehicles into campers for one person. I'm not going to go down the camping route. The only stars I want to see when I'm travelling are the stars on the door at a hotel reception. But it's a nice vehicle. I've had it since 2024, so I've just had it on just a year now. It's a really nice vehicle to drive, and it's very, very practical for me. So this is the vehicle we'll be in, not the scooter today. And as I said in the introduction, I thought it was going to be a lot easier to record in the car rather than on the scooter. Boy, was I wrong. Hello. Eric Brook here with you today for another episode of ErkPod. We are going out and about.
Turn left onto Shedden Street, then sharp right onto Maitland Road.
Alright, we are going out on an excursion today. It is Thursday.
Sharp right onto Maitland Road, Pacific Highway.
Thursday the 28th of August 2025, and we're going out for an excursion. It's a nice, beautiful, blue, sunny day here in Newcastle. I am again shooting with the Insta360 camera. I hope that you have been enjoying the previous episodes. That was certainly a lot of fun to do. The two scootering around
Continue
Newcastle.
on Maitland Road for 1.5 kilometres.
And the two that I did by walking down Hunter Street. Now the Hunter Street ones, they took a long time to do, but that's totally fine, and that was totally what I was expecting because of what the 360 camera can do compared to what a normal camera can do as it records all around me. So today we're on what the locals call Maitland Road, and funnily enough it heads to Maitland. We're in the suburb of Islington, which is a close nearby suburb to where I live. It's just on 8 a.m. It took me a little bit of time to figure out the best solution to mount the 360 in the car, but what I appear to have at the moment appears to be working, and it's a magnetic mount attached to the camera, to the 360. So just passing through Tyres Hill at the moment. And that is actually magnetically attached to my dash. Now I had to find a spot on my dash that is actually metallic, and that's not it wasn't an easy job. We're about to pass.
In 300 metres, turn right onto Ingle Street.
We're about to go over the railway line, which goes to and from Port Waratah coal loaders, and there's nothing there that I can see in either direction.
Turn right onto Ingle Street.
Now, I'm actually not going to follow the directions for the moment because I know where I'm going, but I've mainly got it on because I want to know how the traffic's
Continue
going.
on Ingle Street for 1 kilometre.
I don't want to continue.
Head northwest on Maitland Road, Pacific Highway towards Silso Street. Turn right onto Carrington Street.
I don't want to turn right onto Carrington Street.
Head northwest on Maitland Road, Pacific Highway towards Fawcett Street.
So
Continue for 28 kilometres.
So this is the start of Mayfield. So this is where I do a lot of shopping in Mayfield. It's nice and close to home. So if I know that I only want to go to the supermarket and the supermarket only, I'll come to Mayfield. There's a Coles on the right hand side that we're passing now. And coming up soon on the left hand side is a Woolworth. So they're our two biggest supermarkets that are relatively close to each other. So there's a lot of, this is a traditional main street of a suburb where you've got most of the shops in big one long strip. There's a few pubs, a few pharmacies, various restaurants. So I'll crack open my first Pepsi in the morning while we're stopped at the traffic lights. So I've been on holidays now. It would roughly be 8 weeks now. I think I've got just over 2 weeks to go of my holiday. And I've done a lot of it without leaving home. For instance, I produced a lot of simulated Earth content. That will mean that I'll have content basically coming out for the next year. I did a lot of tidying up. I've only got a little bit to go now before I'm fully finished moving in, but it's none of the stuff that's urgent. So I haven't necessarily rushed. I'm actually trying to get my internet upgraded. So I actually have fibre coming to my house again, which is what I've had in Sydney for ages. But I've still got things coming through the old wires. but there's some new fibre being laid in my area, so I can connect into that. The main problem that I'm having at the moment with that is because I'm renting, I have to get permission to have the equipment installed, because it means attaching things to walls, creating a couple of holes possibly in a wall, so I have to get permission for that. There is a speed camera ahead, thank you. So this is the western end of Mayfield. There's a few hotels where you can stay overnight, etc. So there's free installation of the upgrade to the fibre for the internet. So I don't have to pay for the installation, and neither does the real estate or the landlord, because I'm renting. But because I'm making changes that are permanent in nature, or I want to make that are permanent in nature, I have to get permission. Now the first step I have to get permission is from the real estate agent, and they're on board. But the problem I'm having is between the real estate and the owner. I've been trying, basically, I'm up to 2 months now. And we've no reply so far, which is annoying, because I'd certainly hear about it if the rent was late, or I didn't pay my water bill, or I failed an inspection, I'd soon hear about it. But just have to show patience. I've got no choice. So we're sort of leaving now the inner suburbs of inner Newcastle. One of the reasons that I'm taking the camera out today is that there's a lot of roadwork going on, and some of the new section that they're building has actually been completed, even though it's like a 600 metre stretch. Any win that the government can take in terms of road construction, they're taking at the moment. So when you are travelling between Sydney and Brisbane, it is basically all freeway or all motorway now, from suburban Sydney all the way up until you hit Brisbane, with the exception of a couple of different spots. And one of those spots we'll be driving past soon. And it's also not only is it a benefit of everyone going through from Sydney to Brisbane or from Sydney to the North Coast, it's also a benefit to the locals here, because a lot of the traffic will be avoiding the section of highway that we'll be driving on soon. So we're coming up to the inner city bypass, which allows you to bypass central Newcastle. So we're coming up to that soon, and the interface at this end is one of the things they're working on. So basically widening that section from the inner city bypass through to where the M1 motorway arrives. I can do 80 now. So locally, the section of road that we're talking about is called the Hexham Straight, because it's a straight Peterson road and it's in the suburb of Hexham. Now Hexham's a a local area that has a lot of history in Newcastle in terms of coal trades and that sort of thing. It used to be one of the areas where they would bring, in the older days, bring the coals to Hexham and put them on the ships and that sort of stuff to send them away to other countries. Coming up on the left hand side shortly is the Sandgate Cemetery. It's one of the bigger cemeteries in the greater Newcastle area. It's also named the Newcastle War Cemetery. So it's actually peak hour at the moment, not necessarily in the direction that we're going, but in the other direction. Doesn't look too bad at this point, but having said that, some cars that are coming towards us could have also turned off onto the inner city bypass. There's a nice blue looking Kenworth there. So this is a new section. I think this is a 600 metre section that they're talking about. Yeah, that's the inner city bypass. So this is the 600 metre section that they're talking about. There's a U-turn bay just in case you need to do a U-turn coming up. So we're about to get onto the section where the road work is going on. Yes, there is a speed camera there. So this is the start of the work. So what they're doing at the moment, they're putting an extra lane in. This is the start of the Hexham Straight. This bit's not necessarily straight. They're putting in an extra lane in either direction, and they've had to do things like widen the bridge that's coming up here. There's another bridge off to our left there that they're working on at the moment. This general area is the Hunter River wetlands, and we've actually got part of the Hunter River running alongside us on the right hand side. Yeah, that way. So the construction's been going on now for about a year and a half. It'll be open sometime in 2026. It's really starting to take shape now. You can really see where the extra lanes are going to go. You can see some of the old road to my right. So we're on a section that's been widened. There was a lot of space on the side to actually expand. So we're coming into Hexham now, and the real part of the Hexham Straight. On the right hand side, the Hexham Bowling Club. There's a structure on the side over there. Aussie the Mozzie. And there's a lot of mosquitoes in the Hexham area, and so on top of the sign there, they've erected a statue of a mosquito, which is such an Australian thing to do, and they've nicknamed him Aussie. So in Newcastle traffic reports on the radio, you often hear them talking about, oh, there's lots of traffic and coming into Aussie the Mozzie, and that's exactly where they're talking about. Some coal trains off to the left hand side being held there in Hexham as they wait to go into the port of Newcastle. Now we can see how heavy the traffic is now heading towards us. So some of that traffic will head into Newcastle and some of it will head on the inner city bypass. Coming up here soon is the split. You basically have to head out towards the left if you are heading to the north coast of Brisbane, and you head straight ahead. Oh, here's one of my trains. Here's a Hunter train passing Hexham Station. So soon, if you're heading towards Brisbane on the north coast, you go onto the left, and you go left. But if you're heading towards Maitland, the Northern Tablelands and Sydney, you head the way that I'm heading at the moment. If you don't know this area, that can get a bit confusing, especially because of the roadwork. They've actually taken a lot of the signs down. There's some new signage up since the last time I was here. Actually may come that way on the way back home. So this section links the Pacific Highway is the Pacific Highway, and we're about to head towards the loop that will take you to Sydney. So there's another bit of infrastructure which is coming up, which is an extension of the M1 motorway. And that will eliminate a lot of cars on this section. Some of those cars on the that are coming towards us are also wanting to head north on the Pacific Highway. And you can see that the traffic's a lot busier now. This is real peak hour traffic heading towards us on the Hexham Strait. We'll be passing under a bridge in a moment. That's the extension of the M1 motorway, and they've had a lot to do in this area because some of the land that they're building on is actually flood prone and it's swampland. So there's been some extra challenges that wouldn't normally be the case. I'm certainly glad I'm going in this direction and not the other direction. This is a real trouble spot too on school holidays. You got people coming to and from the north coast of Brisbane, and this is the main way that they come. And so in both directions in school holidays time, especially the start and the end of the school holidays, it gets really busy along here in both directions. And that new motorway bridge that we passed under will certainly help there. Extends quite a few kilometres from us. It's on our left at the moment. So that was one of the bits that I wanted to see on this trip and record. And one of the other things, I'm actually going out and do a bit of train spotting today, which hasn't been a thing that I've done a lot of while I've been on my holidays from work. I've done more with the 360, on the episodes that we've seen. But I haven't gone out and done a lot of train spotting. Now, one of the reasons for that is the weather. The weather here at the moment is beautiful. Nice blue skies. We're coming into the end of our winter. It's 15 degrees Celsius at the moment. So I want to say that high 50s Fahrenheit, I think, but it's nice and pleasant at the moment, 8:15 in the morning. Pleasant enough, especially if you're in a car. Some more road work on our left in conjunction with the new motorway that's going in. Should be finished next year, I think. But we're going out to do a bit of train spotting today, to a spot that I've seen people take photos from, but I've never actually driven there myself until today. So we'll see how that goes. It's a single piece of track on the north coastline, so I'm not necessarily expecting a lot of trains. There's a couple of trains that I know that we'll see, some freighters. So the camera itself is shaking a little bit. I hope that's not too noticeable, and I guess I'll find out in post-production. So we've gone through the roadwork zone, so we should be able to speed up in just a moment. So overall, holidays have been great. Love being on holidays, it's been great. As I've mentioned, I've got a lot of stuff done, and it was just nice to get away. As I said, I haven't necessarily been anywhere, but it's just been nice to wake up and go, oh, okay, this is what I feel like doing today. And sometimes that what I feel like doing today has been nothing. Been doing a lot of gaming. I'm actually thinking of getting back into playing GTA again for Simulated Erg. But I, being me, don't play GTA in the way that it's designed to be as the criminals, but I'm more on the law enforcement roleplay side of things. It was actually funny how I thought, oh, let's do this again. I was watching a YouTuber. Now I can't think of a name at the moment because it's Iraya, I think. And what I've managed to learn about her so far is that she was born in the Ukraine. Her parents moved to America when she was a small child, and she's now in the US military. And one of the things that she does when she's not on deployment is that she games. And I was watching her. It just came up on YouTube, and I was watching her, and places like BuzzFeed have also done specials on this where it's like, oh, let's get a cop to play GTA and see how they go, and you know, we'll see how they go when they see GTA. And you know, first of all, they want to try and obey the rules, because that's the thing you do, right? You just try and obey the rules. But it's really interesting watching someone play a game that they haven't played before, or a type of genre that I haven't played before. That'd be like me watching someone who's not into trains playing a train simulator compared to how I'd play a train simulator. Or another example that I thought of when I was playing. I actually did a complete game of Call of Duty, and it was because I saw on YouTube a cop actually playing a scenario in London where London was under attack. It was a terrorist attack in London. And I thought, this looks really good. Got to do this. Want to have a play with this. And that part of Call of Duty, that was probably 10 minutes out of 14 hours of gameplay, as I found out. Now, it was just amazing to me. Now, yes, I did it on the easy setting. But it was still hard. I had no idea what I was doing. I was getting better as I was going. And no, I didn't finish it from start to finish without dying. I died about 100 times. And in editing, I actually went through and I counted every time that I died. And so it was over 100 times, but considering I made it through to the end of Call of Duty, I can't even remember which one it was without actually having my Steam library in front of me. But it is on Simulated Earth, and I did do it in full, spoiler alert. But you probably figured that out if you saw. I can't remember off the top of my head how many episodes there actually were. But it was 14 hours of gameplay. So I just recorded all the gameplay and then did the episodes from there. Now we're coming in towards the start of Maitland, which is an inland centre, probably the first inland centre you encounter as you come out of Newcastle heading up towards the Northern Tablelands. And so it's 8:30, so we're coming into peak hour heading in towards Maitland, and you get people that are doing the school run in Maitland, and and going to work, that sort of thing as well. So this is more of an area. There's a lot of housing in this area. There's so many areas in the places that we just went through around the Hexham area where they were building the motorway, etc. Where there's not a lot of development. There's a lot of swampland, and in some areas too, it's farmland. But we've got lots of development around Maitland, and then if we were to go past Maitland and then go into farmland again. So on the way back home, now I'm not sure if it's going to be this episode or the next episode if I do it at all, but I'm looking to come back via Newcastle Airport and have a go at the 360 with the 3 metre tall monopod. You can actually get quite close to the end of the runway, and I say runway because there's only one runway at Newcastle Airport, It's also a shared civilian military facility. So we might see some fighter jets as well. So we'll see how we go with that. Now I need to move over because depending on I don't know which way it's going to send me through here to get where we're going. But we've got a 40 kilometre an hour school zone that we're coming through. Now it has been a big improvement actually from when they first installed the school zones in New South Wales. Now the standard hours that we have here, and there's different times around the country in all the different states. Our times are from 8 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. with school traditionally starting around 9 a.m. and then in the afternoon from 2:30 until 4 p.m. with school traditionally finishing about 3:30. And so initially there were just the static signs, but since then they've installed, and we briefly did see one. If I think about it, I'll put a picture on screen so I can show you what I'm talking about. They added flashing lights that are activated when the school zone's actually operational. Because not every day is a school day, because you do have school holidays as well. And so I'm not a school kid, and I'm not in a family that has a school kid, so I don't necessarily know when the school holidays are. I remember my first actual speeding fine, because often they put speed cameras in school zones. I remember my very first speeding fine. I'd just come back from my America trip in 2009, and the school was around the corner from my house in Sydney. Now, I was coming from one place and I was turning right to go onto the main road that had the school on it and where the majority of the school zone was. And in the way that I was going, the speed camera was at the end of the school zone. If I was going the other way, it would have been at the start of the school zone. So the school zone starts at 2:30. Now, on the clock of my car, I looked at it and it was 2:27. So I'm thinking, oh, I've still got 3 minutes, so I'll just go through. At 60. I'll just go through at 60 because on school zone time, yeah. But the time in my car was actually wrong, as I found out when I got the speeding fine, where it says that it was like 2:31. I think it was 2:31. There were no school kids around. I was at the end of the school zone. I tried to contest it, but they're like, dude, it's the school zone, you sped through it. Luckily for me, I wasn't doing 60, I was doing about 50, because I'd only just started. I was at a set of traffic lights and I'd only just turned right. So it might have even been something like 49. But that was my first time that I'd actually driven at home since I came back from that American trip in 2009. You know, they didn't have the flashing lights. They don't necessarily have the flashing lights everywhere. coming into Maitland now. It's a very popular spot for train spotters. The Maitland Steam Fest is held here every year.
In 600 metres, at the roundabout, take the third exit and stay on New England Highway, A43.
I don't think I should have as much focus in that camera as it's on the mount. I hope it's not too distracting. If it's really bad, well, you're not listening to my voice now because I've scrapped the episode. So we're on now, and we've been officially on for a while, the New England Highway. This takes us, if you go all the way, it does eventually go to Brisbane, but it's more of the inland route. So you're going through the northern tablelands of New South Wales.
In 200 metres, at the roundabout, take the third exit and stay on New England Highway, A43.
So there's a lot of congestion in this area because of the time of morning that it is. You've got people heading into Maitland, you've got people heading in towards that might help the camera shake. It was very shaky on the I've tightened up the mount. So you've got people heading in towards wine country. If you turn left, you got people heading into Maitland itself, which we have to skirt around Maitland to get where we're going. Now I do actually have a dash cam fitted, front and back, but using the 360 is a lot easier to extract the footage from.
Exit the roundabout onto New England Highway. Continue on A43 for 2 kilometres.
So from here, it becomes a lot more rural with farmland, etc. You get your occasional suburb that will go through before we turn off. There is a lot of housing being built in this area west of Maitland as people move out of Sydney. There's a grain train there as people move out of Sydney, etc. There is a lot of land down here that's being developed.
In 600 metres, at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on New England Highway, A43. Exit the roundabout onto New England Highway. Continue on A43 for 1 kilometre.
Okay, so we're going to turn off in about a kilometre to head to where we're going. "46 kilometres to Singleton, 93 to Muscle Brook," and then you can just keep on going from there. So we're crossing over the rollover where we'll be watching trains from soon.
In 300 metres, turn right onto Aberglasslyn Road.
Alright, so we're leaving the New England Highway here.
Turn right onto Aberglasslyn Road. My first Pepsi of the day almost done. I tried In 500 metres, at the roundabout, take the third exit onto Waterworks Road.
Oops. And of all the distance we've got, then it fires off the mount. So because modern cars are a lot more plasticky these days, there's not as many. It's a magnetic mount that I'm using, so it's not as magnetic as I thought.
In 400 metres, you will arrive at your destination.
Okay, so
Head northeast on Aberglasslyn Road. In 500 metres, turn right onto Diamond Circuit.
So there's a lot of houses being built in and around this area.
Turn right onto Diamond Circuit, then turn right onto Ruby Road.
I don't think that's the way I wanted to go, actually.
Head north on Aberglasslyn Road towards Fulford Cove. Continue on Aberglasslyn Road for 800 metres. In 500 metres, at the roundabout, take the fourth exit and stay on Aberglasslyn Road.
Alright, I might just turn here. the main shopping centre of Aberglasslyn.
Head northeast on McKeechee Drive towards Myrtle Crescent. Turn right onto Myrtle Crescent.
Alright,
Turn right onto Myrtle Crescent.
alright, so it turns out that I've gone slightly too far. It wasn't the name of the road that I was expecting. Oh, and just as I want to do a U-turn, a truck comes out of the
In 50 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Aberglasslyn Road.
Okay. So how to look at Google Maps. So there's a roundabout coming up that I have to take to turn left. Because I've never driven to this particular road before, so the name of the road I'm looking for is Waterworks Road, but the map, the navigation didn't say Waterworks Road. You know, sometimes we learn things by trial and error. I now know that the magnet's not strong enough. It wasn't even a higher speed quarter or something like that. It was just...
In 400 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Waterworks Road.
See, it said Waterworks Road then. When I was coming in the other way, it didn't say turn right onto Waterworks Road. Now to work out, we won't have long before the first train arrives. Here's Waterworks Road.
In 400 metres, you will arrive at your destination.
So we'll just drive here until we find the bridge now.
You have arrived.
Alright, what does this sign say? Oh, it's a private road. Okay, well that sucks. I have to change my plan. Was it over that road? Oakhampton Road.
Head west on Waterworks Road towards Ruby Road.
So if you have a look on Google Maps, you can basically go straight down that road. But it's a private road and it's also...
In 300 metres, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Aberglasslyn Road.
It's a private road and it's also a road for... only for walking. It's a walking track not far past that sign apparently. So I'm going to be a bit cheeky.
In 500 metres, use the left lane to turn left onto Newing. Head northeast towards Alexandra Avenue. Head northeast on Aberglasslyn Road. Continue on Aberglasslyn Road for 1.5 kilometres.
1.5 kilometres, okie dokie. There's a car like mine. I'm driving a Volkswagen Caddy. By the way, that's my vehicle of choice. So another reason that I haven't been out and really got a train spotting lately is that the weather has been absolutely crap consistently. I know that at the moment there's a lot of track work going on Wednesdays, so I don't go out on Wednesdays. As a result of that, if I was to do some train spotting...
In 500 metres, at the roundabout, take the third exit onto McKeechee Drive.
So I don't go out and do any train spotting on Wednesdays because there's not a lot of trains because of the track work. Weekends there's a lot less trains because it's a weekend. And as I said, the weather's been pretty ordinary, and also in the fact that the weather's been ordinary, a lot of the time the line...
In 600 metres, turn right onto Oakhampton Road.
The line where I'm heading today actually closes due to flooding. And so I'm not going to go out there if there's flooding and if there's no trains. But I had a look at the forecast this week. It's been sunny all week. There's been the occasional cloud, but it's been sunny. So I thought Thursday morning today, let's do that. So I'm going to a spot that I've used before. It's the Oakhampton level crossing. And one of the good things about being at a level crossing is that...
Turn right onto Oakhampton Road.
Hang on. Oh, there it is. It will actually give you a warning when there's a train coming.
Continue on Oakhampton Road for 2 kilometres.
It actually gives you a warning that there's a train coming, so... And because it's a single line section of track, so it's not as if there's a train every 5 minutes. So I could just sit in the car until the level crossing lights come on, and then just go out, get the photo or the video, and then come back. So I didn't want this drive to be a total waste. There's a lot of farmland out here now. There's some road work out here. See some traffic control in action. I am actually fully qualified in traffic control now. Hit a stop. Okay, so we're coming up to the level crossing. So, there's already somebody here who has that ID. Or that might be to do with the road work. Oh, well, that's less than ideal, but I'll go behind there. Probably one of the traffic controllers, I'd say. So I'm parking behind them.
Head southeast on Oakhampton Road. Head southeast on Oakhampton Road towards Oakhampton Station. Head southeast on Oakhampton Road towards.
I'm here.
Head southeast on Oakhampton Road toward. Head southeast on Oakhampton Road towards Oakhampton Station. Head southeast on Oakhampton Road towards Oakhampton Station Road.
Alright, I have arrived. The level crossing is just in front of us, and hopefully the train will be here soon. Actually, I should check that. Alright. Maitland. Oh, good. The train is just coming into Maitland now. It'll be here in under 10 minutes, so that's good.